We would like to know more about your startup. Can you introduce yourself and your startup, including the problem you're addressing?
The name of my startup is called Skill Mentor. So this is a company that I've co-founded with four other co-founders who come from different verticals in the industry. The problem that we're trying to address is not so much of a problem, but we're trying to prepare the Canadian workforce for the future. So we strongly believe that the future of learning is micro, which means that higher education and learning will be broken down into more bite-sized chunks or micro credentials. So we are a company that is building micro credentials for the Canadian higher education market.
What motivated you towards Startup Visa, and what would you like to tell to other entrepreneurs who are looking forward for Startup Visa journey?
The startup visa that Canada has put in place, the startup visa program that Canada has put in place, is far more attractive than any other similar programs that are out there in the market. So, which you could compare this to the one that is set up, that is running in the UK, in Australia, in France, and I believe even New Zealand has one. The beauty about having this program that Canada has brought in is that it leads you to number one, um, open a company with very limited bureaucracy. Now, in many jurisdictions around the world, you need to be a permanent resident, or you need to have a permanent resident as a part of your directorial board if you need to found a company in these countries. But as far as the startup visa program of Canada is concerned, you could be non-residents and you can come together to found a company in Canada. This is number one. Number two, the amazing support that incubators provide in this program, the very important role that they provide. So they are your mentors during this program, because they give you an insight into the Canadian business landscape. They bring relations. They bring, in some cases, they give you that infrastructure that you might need locally before you get some of your own. So the startup visa and the ecosystem that has been built or that is currently available for the Canadian startup visa program, I believe, is far superior and far more attractive than any other that is presently out there. Most importantly, I believe it also leads to the option of family resettlement and permanent residence. It opens up a path.
Can you share your journey through this application process and how we played a role in this?
Right. So the journey was very exciting. So we had um, that initiation program with the incubator. So before all of that was the submission. So it was your company and that advice that you provided, which helped us put together the business plan and the proposal that we put forward to the incubator. So the in your assistance, your advice, your insights at that point were absolutely critical for this to have gone this far, for this project to have gone this far. So from the very beginning, um, you know, your insights into this whole thing is what helped us move from one stage to the other, eventually getting the incubator accept our proposal. So this was the beginning, and then of course once we were with the incubator, the 6 months, the 6-week program where they initiate you into the basics of launching a startup and scaling a startup. They touch upon most of the points, operations, marketing, finance, and how do you raise capital eventually. So that was an amazing program. They bring in entrepreneurs who have scaled their startups, who have established successful companies in Canada. So the role that that the incubator plays is again very, very vital. Eventually getting to the point where the incubator issues the letter of support, and your communication, your hand holding that communication was very, very important for us at that point. So put together, it was a great experience, and thank you to your team, Rohit and yourself, and the wonderful incubator that we had that you chose for us.
Any kind of hurdle you face during this period, or any notable hurdle which you feel, the other entrepreneurs should take care when they're moving towards into such journey?
The documentation part of it. Now, a lot of documents that you would have thought about, or
Hmm.
it's these are not very difficult to procure or to lay your hands on, but it's a matter of preparation, right? So wherever you are, whichever part of the world, you need to be able to provide all the documents, all the documents that the checklist mandates. And some of this could go many years back, you know for example, your travel history, and if you have a new passport, and for you to be able to furnish those dates, those are some of the sticky points. So challenge from the point of view of for the application process, I think it was a dream. I mean, you handled the application process. What could slow down an applicant is the time it takes for him or her to turn around the personal documents, or the collective documents that he needs to furnish on behalf of himself, herself, or the family. So that's something that you need to be prepared for.
So how do you feel, or what do you feel Canada is the right market for you, and why?
Again, Canada, I look at Canada more from the point of view of the future, right? So the
Right.
Canadian economy is not just an economy that is run by services, it is also an economy which has a lot of primary industries, starting from manufacturing to raw materials and resources. Canada could become an energy leader in the coming years because it's got vast reserves of um, oil and natural gas. So, unlike many other economies and many other developed economies, Canada is a country which is rich in natural resources, which means economic activity will always be, I would say, it would be a very permanent feature of the Canadian the economy, as in enterprise would be. Let me just rephrase: enterprise would be a permanent feature of the Canadian economy. I know a lot of industries are around extractive resources, but Canada has large agricultural land, reserves, not just of oil and gas, but I also believe in metals and other minerals. So it is well poised with the very small population that it has and the riches that it possesses in terms of natural resources. The Canadian economy is poised to grow for the next couple of generations, at least, if not more. So from that point of view, Canada is very attractive. It is a country where you can find home. Culturally, it's very welcoming. It is a place where there is a lot of acceptance for different cultures from around the world. And I believe this is a great place for you to found a company and to potentially raise a family. So yeah, these are the reasons that I would suggest for to anybody who would like to choose Canada.
So, any one advice you want to give to startup visa, aspirants or people who are planning to come into startup visas?
Choose see, because immigration is an industry, or agencies in immigrations. There tend to be a lot of scams. So do your due diligence before you choose a partner. Number one, and number two, be prepared to stick to timelines. Right. Number three, ensure that you are communicating openly with the agency that you choose, so that they can step in and help you should there be a need to do that. And be prepared, I would say. Be prepared, because you are moving to a new country which is quite alien to wherever you come from. Of course, if you're coming from
Yeah.
outside North America, it is an alien. It is going to be an alien place. I mean, that alien does not necessarily mean it has a negative connotation. It just means that it's an unfamiliar landscape. So you need to have an open mind, and you need to be able to read up on the culture and be willing to integrate into that society. So I think these are some of the things that you need to be prepared for.
Any two lines about Startup Visa Works, or if you have any suggestions for us or for the viewers?
If you choose Startup Visa Works, you have Tabish, and who is very well versed. She's got a solution to, or she's got an answer to every question, right? This is number one. Number two, you also have Rohit, who belongs to her team, and he's an amazing gentleman who's there willing to give you advice, and who's there to, how do I put it, to give you the Canadian context of things. So put together, they make a wonderful team, right? And our experience has been amazing from the word go. The most important thing is that timelines were respected and were met, right? There were no empty promises. What was promised was delivered. So from that point of view, I would recommend StartupVisaWorks, because we chose them, and we went ahead with them, and we had a successful proposal which got accepted, and we got a letter of support
Letter of
from
support. Yeah.
from the RCC. So there you go.
Yeah, you made my day, Rejin. Thank you so much for being honest, being transparent, and giving so much of advices to the viewers. Maybe it will be a great help for them. And big thank you to us being very reciprocative, because if the team is not reciprocative enough, if the team is not participative enough, and if their intention is just PR, it doesn't happen the way it is happening with
No, no,
you.
no, 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 no.
So best of luck to your team.
Thank
Rock
you.
in the land of Canada, give more employment to Canadians, bring, a boom in the economy of Canada. Thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thank
time.
you.